Welcome to our show, you guys. This is Viva Physical Media.
Hi.
My name's Emalie.
My name's Kevin.
And I accidentally did a 2.5 mile hike today. I was taking my dog on a little walk, and then it turned out to be a big walk. We both regretted it. Her legs are like 4 inches long. So that was my day.
Wow.
How about you?
My day? Oh, I was at work all day, so
Yeah.
it's fine. I watched Hell Comes to Frogtown this morning.
I think Joe Bob did something like on Shudder a couple years ago.
From the director of beloved Chilly Night movies, the Rollerblade series.
A couple nights ago, I watched White Men Can't Jump for the first time.
Oh, I saw that in the theater when it came out.
It's really good.
It's awesome, yeah.
The fashion's so great. Woody Harrelson is such a hunk.
Well, Rosie Perez, though.
Rosie Perez is
force of
fantastic.
nature.
Everyone's great. Wesley Snipes great. The Color of Money, but with basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's. Honestly, I kind of like it better than Color of Money. I think it's funnier for sure.
It's definitely funnier. It's more fun.
So I just love like Rosie Perez's whole subplot where she's gets on Jeopardy.
The movie kept being like funnier than I thought it was going to be, and I enjoyed that. Anything else?
I watched last week Paddington and Paddington 2.
I heard those were delightful.
I mean, I was bawling at the end of Paddington 2.
Damn.
I've challenged
Doesn't he
you.
go to jail or something?
Yeah. I challenge you to not just be weeping at the end of Paddington 2.
You know that's not, like, I will. I will. You know I will be. It doesn't matter.
I've been watching a bunch of stuff. I watched Mouchette, Bresson's Mouchette, which is a bummer, but a fucking masterpiece. And then I watched The Heiress, William Wyler's The Heiress.
Oh, I love that one. That one's so sad.
It's very good. But Hollywood, like movies of the period, any movies where they're a period piece, and like as soon as it's like whatever that time period is where they're getting in carriages and shit all the time.
Yeah.
There's something about that time period in movies, and I just don't love it. The carriage era, or whatever the fuck it's actually called.
I do believe they call it the carriage era. You're right. Well, I'm sorry.
No, but that's a me problem.
It does sound like a you problem.
It's a YP, you know.
I watched a blaxploitation movie called Black Gun. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
It's about this guy who owns a nightclub, and then his brother gets killed, and so he seeks revenge. Today's a special day.
Well, yeah, we're filming Viva.
Yeah, I have to go get something real quick.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rich.
Lighter. Sorry, pretend.
Happy birthday to you.
Blow out the candle.
All right.
Called Gerbera daisies.
Oh.
Gerbera daisies.
They're like red daisies.
They come in different colors, and they always have a black center, and I think they're really pretty. And then, here's
And then a
card.
card. Oh, thanks, guys.
Give Rich your.
I can't
your
believe I'm
birthday
27 years
wishes.
old.
You look great. You look great.
You don't look a day over 21.
We're back.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you for
You
being.
didn't really get to show off the shirt,
Great.
but maybe I'll take a picture of it and post it up here. The shirt I drew for Rich.
Yeah, not for birthday, but for a gift.
I'm so excited for the day that I get one of these Sharpie shirts.
Don't worry,
I think I have
it'll
to be
happen.
friends with you for like 3 more years or something.
It'll happen.
No, it's fine. I
jeez.
don't want one anymore.
Oh my
I
God.
don't even fucking want one.
What a scarecrow business, real quick. We're at 70,000 currently
Oh, damn.
on our spring fundraiser goal, which is awesome. That's 5,000 away from the end.
That's
so...
nothing, you guys. If you haven't donated yet, go for it, or tell people, let everyone know, help us out. Last 5,000 to go, and we'll hit our goal. That's so awesome.
And we have some other news. This is a ways off. We're going to be hosting a screening at the Beacon Cinema.
Beacon, and we're going to be hosting Bingo.
Bingo.
Can I keep him, Dad?
Just as soon as we have him neutered.
We're going to be hosting a screening of Bingo at the Beacon Cinema July 28th.
July 28th. Clear your calendars.
Yeah.
Save the date. If you're in
Yeah.
the Seattle area, Beacon Cinema in Columbia City, we're going to be hosting Bingo, which, as you know, is the fever dream, a Pee-wee's Big Adventure featuring a dog. Absolutely bonkers movie.
Look up our review again. I can't remember which episode it's on. It was somewhere in the middle, actually. But it was It was also the first dog movie we reviewed when we did our first failed iteration. So maybe I'll actually cut those together finally, if I have time.
The Lost Tapes.
The lost tapes, which are which have been found and have a buzzing sound throughout the whole thing. I can promise that there will be Bingo trading cards.
And there might be other surprises. But that's a long way away, and I need to really work on my organization skills.
Yeah.
But we're going to have so much fun regardless, and just keep that date clear, and we'll remind you several more times.
All right, let's get on with this.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You've been drinking?
There's no mailbag today.
No mailbag. We didn't get any mail.
We didn't get any mail.
Which is fine, you know.
That's okay.
It's okay. We have a week off, you know. It was, that's cool. But don't not send us stuff.
Yeah.
We need more postcards, more mysterious postcards.
Yep, we would love your emails, viva@scarecrow.com.
Yep.
Give us recommendations, ask for recommendations. Let us know what you like about the show or any questions you might have about Scarecrow.
You want to send us actual stuff? 5030 Roosevelt Way, Seattle, Washington.
Nope,
Northeast.
you forgot. It's 5030 Roosevelt Way, Northeast.
Seattle, Washington,
98105.
And speaking of that, if you do
That's
come
kind of
by,
a mailbag.
if you do come by, be like Troy, and bring us beer.
Thanks, Troy.
I didn't get to meet Troy when he was here, but he did leave us some beer. So I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you, but thanks.
Thank you, Troy.
Yeah, so feel free to drop by and leave some beer for us anytime.
Anytime.
We do have a fun segment that we did once before, and then we're bringing back. And
It's because it is episode 40, so...
Oh, is that why?
Well, that's why I thought of it,
That's a
because
good
it's
idea.
kind of like a big...
Yeah.
It's, you know...
It is big. We didn't even say what number it was at the top. We just said
this is
hey, well,
40.
It's 40,
which
okay.
is so many episodes.
Dang. Well, we're not doing. This doesn't have anything to do with the number 40. It's
No,
just-
but it's like just something special for a special day.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little segment we call.
And if you remember, I think we did this on our 10th episode. We have 10 categories that were decided on by both of us, and we each have a recommendation. This isn't necessarily our favorite movie, but it's, you know, a recommendation for these categories.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go back and forth, and we're not gonna fucking explain it to you.
No.
You're gonna have to just take our word for it and trust our taste and write down these rapid reps. I love it so much.
You go first.
Okay. Okay.
So here we go. Ready? Sci-fi.
Melancholia, 2011. Lars von Trier.
Toby Hooper's classic Life Force.
Body horror.
Existence, 1999. David Cronenberg.
That's an underrated Cronenberg. I
Yeah.
think. Mine is Tetsuo, the Iron Man
Ooh.
from Tsukamoto.
Animation.
When Marnie Was There, 2014.
Nova Seed, and I actually forgot the director's name, but he did it. It's like a Canadian guy, and he did it all himself.
Revenge.
I chose one of my favorites, Miss 45, 1981, Abel Ferrara.
Jeremy Saulnier's Blue Ruin.
A movie about music.
We Are the Best, from 2013,
Oh, excellent.
Lucas Moodysson.
The Rose, starring Bette Midler.
A movie about movies.
For this, I chose the super depressing movie Frances, 1982, director Clifford,
Oof.
starring Jessica Lange.
I picked a movie called Hollywood Man, starring William Smith. It's also one of the only biker movies I like.
You don't like biker movies?
Not really. They're
Yeah.
mostly bad.
Yes, you're right.
Sports.
Oliver Stone's Any Given Sunday,
Oh, wow.
1999. Very high speed movie.
Speaking of high speed, I picked Michael Ritchie's Downhill Racer, starring Robert Redford.
Post-2000 comedy.
They Came Together, David Wayne's 2014 movie, because I feel like not enough people have seen it, especially if you like Wet Hot American Summer.
In the Loop, starring Peter Capaldi and our boy James Gandolfini.
Martial arts.
Lady Snowblood, 1973, Toshiya Fujita.
Nice. I'm cheating a little because there's three of them.
Because you always cheat.
But it's only because I was going to say this one, Karate Bullfighter,
What?
but also starring Sonny Chiba, but also there's Karate Bear Fighter and Karate for Life, which is a whole trilogy of movies.
Okay, that works. That's awesome.
So that was why.
Romance.
I chose the 2016 movie Blue Jay, directed by Alexandre Lehman, Mark Duplass, and Sarah Paulson, and it's so good and beautiful.
I chose the Lovely Little Romance musical once. We decided to do one other pick because Ray Liotta died today.
Yeah, so we're going to throw in
wanna
a
throw in a
rapid fire Ray Liotta pick.
There we go, Ray Liotta. Sorry, it wasn't on the list.
Obviously, we're just not picking Goodfellas because you guys know. My pick is 1992's Unlawful Entry, and you get a bonus Kurt Russell on that one.
And my pick is Jonathan Demme's classic Something Wild, which was Ray Liotta's big breakout. You think it's going one way, and then it goes a different way, and then it goes a way different way, and it is is it's a genre mash that is amazing. As I was saying all those, I'm like, oh, but what about this one? So that's how this game works.
If you have any suggestions for categories for more rapid fire Rex.
So maybe we'll be back with Rapid Rex next time. Even.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Who knows?
But there we go.
Cool, that was fun. I like putting that together.
That was...
Rapid Rex.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
All right. That's good.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Matt. I'm here with another bad blockbuster. Last time I did Dante Speak, that's probably not as poorly remembered as what I'm going to talk about this time. Today, we're going to talk about a movie that pretty much nobody likes but me, and it's called Meet Joe Black. Look at this beautiful gatefold DVD. Look at that. This DVD actually comes with the movie that Meet Joe Black is a remake of, Death Takes a Holiday by Mitch Layson. Good movie. Anyway, Meet Joe Black. I saw it in the theater, because it was directed by Martin Brest, who has made many films that people like Son of a Woman, or perhaps you are familiar with Beverly Hills Cop or Midnight Run. But primarily I saw this in the theater because it had the Star Wars The Phantom Menace trailer attached to it at the time. And so I thought, well, fuck it, I'll go see a 3-hour movie about Brad Pitt playing death. And not only did I think that The Phantom Menace looked awesome,
So wizard.
but I really loved this movie, and none of my friends did. This movie is kind of like Succession if it was nice with supernatural aspect. Anthony Hopkins plays like a media tycoon who is nearing the end of his life. He's starting to have chest pains and stuff, and he thinks he might be dying. And he's having a huge, I think it's his 70th birthday party is coming up, and his family is putting together a big party for him. Meanwhile, Brad Pitt is just this normal dude who is going about his life, and he goes to a diner and meets a nice girl played by Claire Forlani, who is a very beautiful young lady who was in a lot of movies in the late 90s. And they have like a nice meet cute.
I was thinking, I don't want you to be my doctor. I don't want you to examine me and...
Why?
Because I like you so much.
And I don't want to examine you.
You don't? Why not?
Because I like you so much.
Probably the thing that this movie is most remembered for is what happens next. And it's after Brad Pitt and Claire Forlani have a really nice meeting at this diner. They part ways, and they're walking two different directions, down the street, opposite directions, and they keep looking back at each other. It's very charming. And then Brad Pitt is very unceremoniously plowed into by multiple motor vehicles. He bounces between them back and forth. This is probably like the sole cultural footprint of Meet Joe Black, kind of like that movie Don't Say a Word, where the only thing anyone remembers is Brittany Murphy going,
I'll never tell.
Entrapment, where Catherine Zeta-Jones's butt is going under the laser beams. Like, those are the only things anybody remembers about those movies. The only thing anyone remembers about Meet Joe Black is Brad Pitt getting fucking plowed by these two cars. But I think it's really cool and purposeful that they did that, because I think that the scene in question is designed to sort of shock you and make it very clear to you that this guy is absolutely fucking dead. And so that when he comes back in the form of death to experience human life and learn what it's like to fall in love and have a friend and taste peanut butter.
Peanut butter man now, eh, sir?
Yes, I believe I am. I thoroughly enjoyed this peanut butter. And I thoroughly enjoyed meeting you all. I'll be moseying on.
Right, sir.
That it makes sense that there's no question that he's dead. It's not supposed to be just a gimmick. And so anyway, so this movie is about how death takes over the body of dead Brad Pitt and ensconces himself into the lives of this very, very rich family. It's ultimately a very, very sweet, very charming, very slow film in which he sort of just insinuates himself into these people's lives very slowly. He immediately informs Anthony Hopkins' character that he is death and he is going to claim Hopkins' life in a few days.
You're not dead, you're just a kid in a suit.
The suit came with the body I took. Let me ask your opinion. Do I blend in?
You want me to be your guide?
You fill the bill, Bill.
And that if Hopkins wants to survive, live through these next few days and sort of say his goodbyes and make peace with his life, that he's going to have to indulge death and sort of help him experience all the things that he wants to experience. And so what you end up with is this sort of very, very sweet, almost wistful, very, very earnest story about a being that is completely naive coming to understand just sort of baseline human emotions. And I think it ends up working very well. It's definitely corny, and I think that that's sort of a stumbling block for a lot of people because there's not a lot of subtlety or nuance to it. It's just a very straightforward melodrama. It's also shot very much in the manner of something from the 40s or the 50s with very basic compositions, 2 shots, 2 characters in a scene, shot, reverse shot, things like that. Formally, it's not very inventive. It's very simple. It's very economical and stripped down. It also has a tremendous Thomas Newman score, and it has some really beautiful cinematography. The big thing that tends to get in people's way is that it's 3 hours long. Did it need to be 3 hours long? I'm not so sure, but I'll be honest with you, I've seen this movie probably 15 times since 1999 or whatever it came out, and I never find it overlong or that I've wasted my time. I always end up finding it particularly moving in a very, very subtle, very simple way. And I also think it's one of Pitt's best performances. This was coming around at a time when he was, trying to, very early on in his career, in his big career, break out of that pretty boy image. And so he's, doing this, he's doing 12 Monkeys, he's doing Fight Club. You get something that is completely idiosyncratic and unusual. There's never been anything sort of like this before or since. Despite the fact that it's a remake, it's very unusual. And of course, it was soundly rejected at the time. Like, this is one of those legendarily, air quotes, bad movies. But I think it's really terrific, and this won't be the last time I watch Meet Joe Black.
Good morning, Mr. Parrish.
What do you think of all this, Helen?
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. And Allison says the president may come.
The president's got better things to do than come to my birthday party.
Like what?
Hey, let's do some picks.
Hey.
I've got one.
Okay. You got one?
Yeah.
What do you got?
My first pick today is...
Wow. Just kidding.
My first pick today is Lino Brocka's Cain and Abel.
Whoa, look at this. Look at this cover.
Yeah. And I've watched a couple of Lino Brocka movies lately, and he's probably one of the most famous Filipino directors. I mean, he died a while ago in the 90s, but he was considered like the Fassbender of Filipino cinema because he made, in a short period, within like 20 years, made like 40 features or something like that. I watched a couple of his other movies, Insiang and Manila in the Claws of Light, which are both out from Criterion. And they're both awesome, and they deal, a lot of his stuff deals with poor people in the Philippines, and they're all melodramas and these very very much like tragedies in the classical sense of a tragedy, where you're like, this is not going to go well, or what's going to happen is. Both of those are really good movies. Check those out. But this one, I think, was my favorite of the three that I've watched so far, Cain and Abel. This is about actually a wealthy family. It's about this landowner, Senora Pina, and her two sons, Lawrence and Ellis. And Lawrence is the son who stayed behind, and he's been tending their farms.
Ultimo dyan sa mga batang yan.
Hindi ako naniniwala riyan. Hindi baliwala para sa akin. Pero ito sina Jimboy, mga apo niya rin yan.
And Ellis is the sort of flighty son who went off to college.
Sorry Hindi kita naipagtanggol Tinervous ako
The father's dead. Everybody blames Lawrence for it. She is very hard on him. And Ellis comes back. Ellis also had gotten the maid pregnant, the girl who works there.
Uh-oh.
And the mom was like, you have to keep the baby because I want to have a baby from my son, because she doesn't really consider her other son her son, really. She's very mean to him. It's this whole setup, very, very classical tragedy, Shakespearean kind of stuff, where she loves the one son but doesn't like the other one, and she's very mean. And it was during the Marcos regime, the first Marcos regime now, which was a bad time for the Philippines, and because it was all martial law, and you had to be very careful making movies, and so while she's not really like a stand-in for him, she's not unlike a dictator on this big estate that she lords over, especially with her sons. So Ellis comes back from college, and he's got this girl with him. Her name is Zita. Anyway, he comes back with this girl, and he's like, I'm going to quit college, and I want the farm. And so his mom is like, okay, and Lawrence is like, what the fuck? This is I've been the one who's been taking care of the farm.
Elisa, pinapag-aral nyo. Ngayon napamahal na sa akin ng bukid. Biglang-bigla, ayaw na mag-aral nito si Ellis. Gusto niya, siya na mamahala sa bukid. Saan niyo naman ako lalagay? Lagi ko na lang nung sinasabi sa sarili ko, Sige lang. Mas matanda ako Kailangan lang talaga magpasensya. Kung sino-sino na binuntis niya na. Pati utosan natin. Anong ginawa niyo? Binayaran niyo, tapos dito niyo pa pinatira. Iniisip niyo ba kung anong sasabihin ng mga tao? Hindi. Pero pag ako na, mama, anong ginagawa niyo? Lagi niyo sinasabi ako nagdadala ng kahihiyan dito sa bahay. Ikaw pumatay sa papa mo.
She's like, well, you killed your dad, so fuck you, basically. And he's like, fuck you, I'm leaving. I'm moving out with my pregnant wife and my 2 kids. And it's essentially like, then it's this disillusion of this family, and I don't want to tell any more of the plot because it's very much like this melodrama where the 2 brothers are at each other's throats, and then it kind of turns into which his other 2 movies didn't, and that's why this one was kind of my favorite, is because it is very much like those ones, sort of heart-wrenching family drama, and then also turns into like an action movie. It's kind of like an exploitation movie, but it all comes from what the characters are going through and stuff. But fucking really good. I highly recommend this one and the other 2 that I mentioned as well. Those are the only ones I've seen. I'm sure his other movies are also good. He directed a ton of them. I don't know how many of them we have here.
How big is our Philippine section? I definitely don't think I've seen many, if any, Philippines movies.
Well, I recommend Cain and Abel. I recommend any of the movies I've seen by Lino Brocka. They're all good.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you want to get your fill of family melodrama / kind of action, check out Cain and Abel.
Check it out.
Emalie, do you have a pick?
I do have a pick.
What is it? Is it something fun?
No, it's not fun.
Oh, good.
It is it's kind of fun. Depends on your, So this is Cutthroats 9. I decided to go dark spaghetti western themed.
Nice.
1972, directed by Joaquín Romero Marchent. Sorry, Joaquín. And it's a Spanish spaghetti western. which we looked up.
They're also known as paella westerns.
Paella westerns,
but
we just call them spaghetti westerns, I guess.
I've hardly ever heard anybody
Euro
use
westerns.
that term. And like these movies are made, I mean, all the spaghetti westerns and those kind of European westerns are made with such international crews and cast that it's like,
because they film them all like without even
and they all have
doing the sound until after, because they're dubbing it so internationally. It starts off very similarly to The Hateful Eight. I'm sure Quentin has seen this movie. The convicts are being transported in a carriage by this sergeant. I know you hate carriages.
It's like those city carriages. It's just like, I don't know, there's something about whenever it's the shot.
You like a Wild West carriage, you don't like a city carriage.
Yeah, I love Stagecoach. I love The Hateful Eight. Do you like
Cowboy, Not Cinderella? They're being transported by a sergeant and his daughter and some other official people who are driving the carriage. They get robbed by bandits. The bandits shoot some people and they realize there's nothing there. And so all that's left are these convicts, all connected by a chain, and the sergeant and his daughter. And so they're like, well, we still have to transport you. And this is also happening, it's a snowy Western. So all white snow. Nice. It's like really tense because these guys are fucking crazy. It kind of does a little narration at the beginning being like, this man
committed enough crimes to have been condemned by law to a chain gang forever. El Comanchero. Ruthless. Bloodthirsty. Ice. John Weasel McFarland, sentenced to life in a chain gang for robbery, rape, and murder. Has one good quality. He's probably insane.
Okay. And you just see how gross they are. And as they're like walking, they're like singing songs about murdering the guy and stuff. And he's like has a gun to them, but like there's still like a lot of them, you know? You come to find out that one of these convicts killed the sergeant's wife, but he doesn't know which one. And we don't know which one.
Oh, wow. Even more shades of Hateful Eight.
To top it off, the chain that's connecting all of them is gold. And so he's really transporting the gold. The convicts don't even really matter, but it's the only way to safely transport this amount of gold across these mountains. And once the convicts find out it's gold...
Gold! It's gold! Let me see that! Look! Let's go!
Let's just say it's not Cutthroats 9 for long. There's so much gore in this movie. It's actually, a lot of people call it like the goriest Western. It's very Fulci-esque gore. There's like burnt
it's just
corpses.
Shots of guys' fucking eyeballs falling out of their
burnt
heads
corpses,
and shit.
eyeballs falling out, people holding in their guts. It also has some like weird experimental film stuff, like weird slow motion stuff and like freeze frames, and then like flashbacks to like each of the characters' previous lives, like before they found themselves in this situation. And then a really strange and effective weirdo score by someone named Carmelo Berniola. So I guess all the gore was like added right like after principal photography to kind of like make it like more shocking, I guess.
Okay.
When they had it in theaters, apparently the box office issued terror masks, which were like masks you put on when you're too scared to hide away. So it became this whole shtick thing.
That's awesome.
And it is really cool. And
have you seen Lucio Fulci's spaghetti western 4 of the Apocalypse?
I have not.
You should watch it. I think you'd like it.
I should, because I love like all of his stuff. Maybe I'll watch that next since I'm on a kick. Violence is their way of life, a nightmare on the loose. Cutthroats 9.
My next movie is the total. Is the tonal opposite of what we've been talking about.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite movies of one of my favorite years. I've talked about movies on here before, but from 1996, it is That Thing You Do.
You are the winter, fall, and spring. You are the sun that summertime brings. You are the stars in the nighttime sky. You are my girl and I'm your guy.
I love the song That Thing You Do from the movie That Thing You Do. I think it's a genuinely great pop song. It could be a song from like 1964 or whatever, 1965. The movie this came out in You've never seen this movie? Really?
I've never seen it.
God.
Should I take it home?
Yeah, I'm surprised. It's directed by Tom Hanks. starring Tom Hanks, Steve Zahn,
Zahn,
Tom Everett Scott, Liv Tyler, Ethan Embry, Jonathan Skaich, who you'll remember if you saw his face. It's about this band called The Wonders, and at first they spell it with an O-N-E.
The Oneders. That's The Wonders.
D-E-R-S, but everybody pronounces it the Oneders, so eventually in the movie they just change it to the standard W-O-N-D-E-R-S.
It doesn't work. It's confusing. From now on, you boys will just be simply the Wonders.
As in, I wonder what happened to the Oneders?
That's right.
Tom Everett Scott is the main character, and he works at like his dad's appliance store, and he's also he also is like a drummer. These other guys are in a band. Their drummer, Giovanni Ribisi, breaks his arm, so he can't drum anymore. So Steve Zahn knew this guy. He goes to his old pal Skitch, Tom Everett Scott, and he goes like, "Hey, you got to play the drums in our band just for this one show. We're doing one song at this one place." And so they go like, "Okay." He practices the song. It's a real slow ballad called "That Thing You Do." And then when they do the show at this talent contest, like he's for some reason just starts playing it fast, and they're like, it's too fast, but they start singing it fast.
Ooh, and the kids love it.
Song, and the kids are like, whoa! The girls are all dancing, everybody's dancing to it. They record the single. They're on the radio. It's the rise and fall of a one-hit wonder band.
Look at little Steve Zahn back here.
And it is so charming and funny. It's exactly the movie that you would think if you were like, what if Tom Hanks directed a movie about a one-hit wonder band in the 60s? Steve Zahn is the funniest thing in it. This was the first movie this is one of his first movies.
I'll wager that the kids and fellas here and all the folks at the fair are showing you a time like you never had.
Oh, I'm not here with these fellas. I got a pigging competition over at the Livestock Pavilion, and I am going to win that blue ribbon.
It was the first time I saw him ever, and I've always been a fan of Steve Zahn since this.
We're big Zahn heads over here.
He's got Liv Tyler she's the girlfriend of Jonathan Skaich. I'm definitely not saying his name right. But he's like the very serious-minded like songwriter of the group. And then Tom Hanks plays their like guy who becomes their manager of the big record label Playtone Records at some point.
You Wonders? You've got the number 7 record in the country.
One of the cooler things about this movie too is that there's not really songs from real songs from that period. They actually wrote
original songs.
So they have all these acts that are sort of like acts from the period, but it's all original music. So there's like acts that sound like sort of like Phil Spector, like girl group, the Chanterelles at some point.
Yeah.
You know.
I want you to say you're thinking of me. Those nights when we're apart. I want you to know when you hold my hand, you hold my heart.
The Tom Hanks cut and the theatrical cut.
Yeah, and there's the Tom Hanks extended cut, and as with most extended cuts, in my opinion, it is not as good. It's almost 2.5 hours long. As much as I love this movie, and I've always loved this movie, it's too long. But the theatrical cut is the way to watch it. It is like it's like a perfect pop song. Yeah, and they play that song a lot in it, but they play it just the right amount of times.
It's just so hard to do. Every time you do that thing you do.
One of my most hated Oscar losses too of all time is it was nominated for Best Original Song for Oscar, and it lost to Evita because they wrote an extra song for the movie Evita just so that they could get an Oscar nomination.
It's like this one did all of the original songs. And
Exactly.
And they put in more work.
And the song in this movie is the title of the movie and is integral to the plot. If the song in this movie doesn't work, the movie doesn't work, because the song has to be a song that could become like
a hit,
number 7 on the charts or whatever. Right? It was fun to watch again because I hadn't seen it in years, and I need to buy a copy of this.
Yeah. I feel like I mixed it up with another movie, which of course now I can't remember the title of that movie either, but that's why I haven't watched it, but I know I will probably enjoy it.
You're gonna love That Thing You Do, I think.
And so will you.
And so will you, yeah.
I'm doing the thing for you, baby. I'm loving that thing you do.
Blizzardy, snowy, depressing Western vibe that I chose for this episode, and we are talking about The Great Silence. It's another spaghetti Western, 1968, so 4 years before Cutthroats Nine, similar setting. It's directed by Sergio Corbucci, who directed Django and The Mercenary. This is actually part of a trilogy called the Mud and Blood trilogy. This is the only movie I've seen of his, so I kind of want to watch Django. And then The Specialist is the third one in this trilogy, and this is the middle one.
The Mercenary's good, and Compañeros is good. You know, and if you want, you should watch Navajo Joe.
Well, I guess I'm just digging into Corbucci.
It's got a lot of them have great Ennio Morricone scores anyway.
This one does, that's for sure. So basically, this movie is about this mute gunslinger who, when he was young, he watched these bandits or bounty hunters kill his family.
Kid?
Nah. He'll never talk again.
And then they slit his throat so that he couldn't talk. So now he goes and he defends outlaws who aren't really doing anything too fucking crazy from these bounty killers who are trying to get money by killing these guys and then saying they're within the law because they have a bounty on their heads. So he's doing this in this town. I think it's called like Snow Valley or Snow Hill or something like that. It was filmed in the Italian Dolomites, and then they used like a bunch of fake snow. It's set in Utah. During the Great Blizzard of 1899. So it's all super snowy, but he gets there and he meets up with all of these crazy bounty hunters led by Klaus Kinski, who is terrifying in this role.
Stop! I swear, loco, I don't know nothing.
Tell me where he is and I'll let you go.
I don't know.
Oh, no. You know all right. He was with you in the mountains.
I don't know where he went to. I swear I don't. Let me go.
He's just like super creepy bad blonde bounty killer named Loco, who apparently his character was based on Mario Bava's Karloff in Black Sabbath.
Oh,
and
okay.
This whole movie, I guess, is stylistically influenced by Bava, which is interesting. I read afterwards, and I can kind of see it.
Okay, yeah, maybe a little bit.
Basically, he teams up with this woman whose husband was killed by these bounty killers, and she's like, I will pay you. I'll do like anything for you to just kill Loco, the main guy. Then there's also the sheriff, who's like not a super good sheriff. He's kind of funny, but he's not really doing much, and he can't control the town because the bounty killers are like, oh no, we're still within law to kill, and he's like, well, but I need to take these outlaws and bring them to like the hangman or whatever. He's like, there's law that needs to be done here. And the bounty hunters are like, well, why does it matter if everyone's going to be dead anyways? And then meanwhile, they call him Silence, is wanting revenge. The guy who plays Silence' name was Jean-Louis Trintignant, and he's from France. He didn't speak any English, which made it really easy for him to be silent this whole time. And then Vanetta McGee is the main woman. Alex Cox watched this and then cast her in Repo Man. based on her character. But yeah, this is another really, really good, snowy, bleak Western, Euro-Western. I guess Corbucci at the time was getting sick of the Westerns he was making, and so he decided to make a really depressing, snowy one instead. And then he also, he said it in the Italian Dolomites partially so that he could go on a skiing holiday there, is what it said online. This one also ends pretty ruthlessly, like Cutthroats 9. There's no happy endings here, but it's a really. I keep wanting to say fun because I enjoy like how ruthless and cool and badass it is, but it's not feel good fun. It's more like fuck, that was insane.
It's
fun.
one of the great spaghetti westerns.
Yeah. So yeah, and look at this cover too. Both of my movies have great covers, I think.
That's true, yeah.
And Klaus Kinski is just such a good villain in this for sure. Just absolutely intensely scary. So yeah, check out The Great Silence.
Nice.
I keep eating and eating, and still I'm miserable.
Who let the dogs
out?
We did.
We did.
Because it's our time for our dog movie. And we got a real
dog?
No, not really. We've had dog-eared dogs before.
Dog-eared dogs.
This one's just a, yeah, it's canine.
Did you? Okay, starting off,
any of
I was
those.
gonna say
Did
we had the patrol pack, and it gives us the option at the beginning. No, I didn't. I just didn't.
I actually thought that I might for a second, and then I watched Cain and was like, I don't want to watch any more of this.
Halfway through this movie, I got
didn't wanna see
distracted.
any more of
I got
it.
distracted and just started reading an article about Jim Belushi's pot farm. This is directed by Rod Daniel in 1989, the year of my birth.
Oh, wow.
Rod Daniel also directed Teen Wolf, is what he's most famous for, but he did direct Home Alone 4. He also directed Beethoven's Second. He directed the Disney original movie Alley Cat Strike, which I remember watching when I was younger, as well as Genius, which is another Disney original movie that I watched
Did
when
you
I was
know
younger.
they filmed Beethoven's Second on Flathead Lake, partially, which is near where I grew up. I have a very sad story about those puppies from Beethoven's Second.
Dude.
So those puppies that are in Beethoven's Second all got sick, got like a dog disease, and they all had to be put down after the film.
What the hell? Why? Do they all get like parvo or whatever that is?
One of
the puppy
those
disease.
puppy diseases.
Oh my God,
I know.
Kevin.
Well, I just wanted to get that. That's what I know. I know that because at the time they were filming around there, and people were like, it's like, at the time there wasn't the internet, but it got around like, hey, all those dogs died from Beethoven's Second.
Fuck. Okay.
Here, let me brighten the mood a little. Well, it's also, this dog is also dead, but he wasn't at the time when I had this. So this is my dog journal.
This is your dog journal?
And the reason I bring it up here is because my childhood dog that I had when I got in like 5th or 6th grade was named Canine. I named him that because I thought it was funny because he was not a German Shepherd. In fact, this is what he looked like at first.
Oh, he was just a little guy.
That was when he was a little bigger.
Your shirt is so big.
Well, it was the style at the time. My friends and I wore extra large shirts.
Stop. My eyes are tearing up.
He was literally the cutest dog on the planet. You can ask anybody who knew him. I named him sort of after this movie, sort of after, I thought it was funny because he's definitely not a police dog.
Oh my God, because he's a little angel.
This was after he has...
Now he's a real angel.
Yeah, he has been dead for 22 years now. So this was after he chased us on a snowmobile at my grandpa's house for hours, and we just stopped for a minute, and he just fell asleep standing up.
That was a roller coaster of emotions because you talking about all the Beethoven puppies dying of parvo, and then you showing your dog journal, and now we're gonna talk about Canine? Whatever. Okay, let's fucking do it. This is the life we lead.
So Canine, the movie, not my dearly departed childhood dog,
stars Jim Belushi as a cop named Dooley.
Can I ask you something?
Later, please. I need a car. Mine blew up.
Just one question. How many cops use their day off finding ways to get their asses shot off?
Oh, shut up!
And they don't like, they're like, they always have issues with him because he's like, I don't know, he
just goes
goes outside the books and like.
He's working on his day off. I don't know. It's like so.
Why does anyone get mad at their detectives, you know?
So generic why they have problems with him. It's like, you're doing your job too hard at these drug dealers.
You need to just let this be okay without trying to solve the case. And it's like, that's your job, dude.
Yeah, and like the first scene, his car gets shot up by like guys from a helicopter.
Oh, yeah. He like goes into another car.
This couple's making out.
And he's like, I just need to use your phone to call my wife.
Just pretend I'm not here, okay? I'll be a second. $100 bottle of champagne.
Also, like, if you watch this movie, take a drink every time that Jim Belushi wipes the sweat off of his face because he is sweating so hard throughout this whole movie. It's not a super complex plot. He's just been trying to, like, stop this shipment of drugs from this drug dealer named Lyman.
Who is played by very nice man and scarecrow, very sweet scarecrow customer, Kevin Teig.
And then you find the man. And you grab him. Put the gun to his head, and you send his brains into outer space.
He also is the guy who plays John Locke's dad on Lost. Having met him several times here, he is like one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet in your life. And like but he's actually pretty good at playing like bad guys.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like you only know what evil is if you're nice, you know? You kind of know, like, you don't know sadness unless you're really happy, something like that, you know? Or like I said earlier, the only way to get the truth out is to tell a lie until someone calls you out on it. Anyways, advice from Emalie.
Wow.
You can email viva@scarecrow.com.
I hugged Kevin Teig.
Rich did.
Wow. And he didn't kill you or anything. He's a nice guy.
He didn't know who I was. I just ran up to him and hugged him.
Well, in the store.
In the store, when he came in. Because of an episode of Lost that had just aired.
And for some reason, Dooley, Jim Belushi's like the only one who's actively trying to stop this. Like, none of his other cop friends are trying to help. Just no one gets along with him. And so he finally, like, asks to have this drug-sniffing canine be his partner.
It's bad Turner and Hooch. I mean, it's not the worst movie ever, but it's bad Turner and Hooch.
It's less Tom Hanks in his underwear, though.
So that's bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I was hard on Turner and Hooch when we did it.
You want to go back and apologize?
No. I'm going to take a little bit back because compared to Canine,
what year did Turner and Hooch come out? What year did Turner and Hooch come out?
1988, I believe.
Damn, so this was just like Jim Belushi's like. So he gets this dog sniffing. He gets this drugs. He gets some dog sniffing drugs. He gets a drug sniffing dog that no one wants to be with for another whatever reason. And he goes and like, they make him like put on a bunch of like pads to go meet this dog.
Just give him a command. He'll jump to it.
Oh, come on.
Sure. Hey, pup.
Kill.
The dog's name is Jerry Lee, by the way.
After Jerry Lee, last name Lewis. After Jerry Lee Lewis, the rock and roller.
Belushi takes him to the warehouse, and he's like, "Listen up. I liked this scene. The part of the scene that I liked was when he went on the forklift and was like, lift me up so I can talk to everyone. And the forklift driver like lifts him up, and then he's like,
Now there are drugs in this warehouse. I know it, and you know it. And this dog's gonna find them.
He finds a guy smoking a joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lyman shows up and he's like,
knowing your frontier approach to law enforcement, I don't assume that you have a search warrant.
Dog ate it.
The whole thing with his girlfriend, too. Is a girlfriend or wife? I don't know what.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, it's his girlfriend. And she's like, at first you think she's maybe cheating on him, but then she's not. And she's like very cool with this guy who clearly sucks. But she really likes the dog. For some reason, he like makes up a whole story that isn't.
That he rescued because he was trying to impress her and like show how he was very sensitive. So he's like, found this dog on the side of the road and like I had to adopt it. They go to a bar and I made a note about how in these movies, every time anyone ever goes to like dive bars, it's like so scary and people are like always really mean and unwelcoming. And it's like, I don't think that's really an experience. I feel like everyone's always stoked to have you in their little local bar when you come to town, right?
You're a hard guy, huh?
There's a whole scene where like he's like, I'm gonna have sex with my girlfriend, but then Jerry Lee keeps bothering him, and then
He says, remember the movie Old Yeller?
Do you? Remember when they shot him at the end? I didn't cry.
I literally forgot all context of this scene, but where Jerry Lee is drinking a beverage out of a straw. And then following that clip, please play the dog father eating spaghetti.
Following that clip where he drinks out of the straw, I believe is
he fucks the poodle?
Yeah. He's like, okay, just a little bit, and then Jerry Lee goes into this car, and then like
the car's like rocking. Also, this guy's like,
get real, chump. That's $100 dog.
Which I guess was expensive in 1989. All I know is my dog was a lot more than that. I wrote here weird dog sex scene.
It's very weird.
Jerry Lee, time's up.
Wow! I feel good.
$100 in 1989 is worth $233.
That's
now.
still nothing. That's not a lot for a dog. I mean, for a dog that's supposed to be like a kind of a bougie ass purebred dog.
The people who wrote this movie just didn't do any research.
Right. He keeps almost catching Lyman, and he's developing a rapport with the dog, and eventually the climax happens when Lyman kidnaps his girlfriend.
And he goes and like busts up the dinner party, and Jerry Lee's like walking on the table and eating all the rich people's food and stuff.
Yeah, and then Jim Belushi shoots this ice sculpture, and he goes,
Who is that, Ken? Is that you? No, that's Zeus. I hate mythology.
I hate mythology. Which is like, what? You do? His whole plan of doing this was to be so unhinged that the cops would have to act like they're taking him into custody for 24 hours so that he knew that Lyman would make the deal, because Lyman would think that he was locked up.
And because he's the only person he's the
only
person who's trying to stop this massive drug deal from going down.
One of the bad guys is like,
I got a present for him, a Colombian necktie.
So when I slit your throat and pull your tongue through your throat and hang you up. Rich, for some reason, already knew what a Colombian necktie was.
I've heard that before.
The camera. I never had. I thought that was so cool.
I think they talk about that in Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from other
I know
movies.
it from Cain
I don't know if it's even a real thing if it's just in movies.
Email us, viva@scarecrow.com, if you've done a Colombian necktie. Let us know.
No, don't. He does get arrested, sort of, and then steals a cop car.
Yeah, he basically steals a cop car because he's like, the dog's farting in the cop car. And he's like, well, Jerry really needs to go pee, or poop or something. And so they pull over, and they let Jerry out of the car, and then he won't come back, and then...
Damn it, Dooley, this is it. This is your ass. Hey, look, I have no time for coordinated efforts. You understand?
And then they get in the car and leave the other guys on the side of the road.
Dog ends up attacking the guy in the truck.
He runs so fast and then jumps in the car and attacks the guy.
Yeah, Jerry Lee is pretty good in this movie.
Jerry Lee's great.
Yeah, Jerry Lee is
apparently played by a dog named Rando, and I don't know my source.
Yeah, so Jerry Lee stops this truck, and so then Belushi can take it, drive that to the drug deal, and pretend to be the guy, and then save his girlfriend and stop the drug deal.
But it doesn't work out that well. He gets his girlfriend back, yes, but then Lyman tries to escape.
Also, like, he pretends that he's gonna blow it up.
Oh, with this little Game Boy thing?
Nintendo handheld game. That was before, it was pre-Game Boy.
Yeah.
I had a couple of those.
In New York, there's a Museum of Moving Images, which is like a film and TV and video museum, and they had like a whole exhibit on video games. So they showed like the very earliest like handheld ones. It was very, very cool. You could actually play them there too. It was awesome. The little thing that he had, it would beep, 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 and then if you died, it would be like, it would do like this laugh.
Yeah. Once all the shooting starts happening, like Jerry Lee runs at him, but he shoots Jerry Lee. Belushi shoots the bad guy in the back, and then the drug dealer guys also shoot him, and then they fly off in their helicopter with the money. They like just leave.
Yeah, they drive him to the hospital, and everyone's like, "We can't take this dog."
Belushi's
like, "I don't care. He's a cop. He's a cop." And he like brings him in, and then he like he like basically threatens this doctor with a gun. And it's like, you know how to pull a bullet out, right? And the guy's like, yeah. And then they do it, I guess.
The whole scene where he goes into the recovery room, he thinks he's dead, and he's telling him how much he loves him.
Like, I know, our relationship was a little rocky, okay?
And how that he would really want to go to Vegas with him.
And then the doctor comes in and goes, "This is the recovery."
But Jerry Lee keeps pretending to. He's like, you see him like look, and then goes, "Whoa." And that's kind of cute, though.
It's cute.
It's
kind of cute.
You asshole.
So then it cuts to him and his girlfriend and Jerry Lee and a poodle.
They bought the poodle? Is it the same one?
It's the same poodle.
I was like, I wrote, they bought the poodle? Question mark?
And it plays a version of Aiko Aiko, which was popular at the time because Rain Man, which came out like the year before, which won like Best Picture, opens with a version of Aiko Aiko.
Aiko Aiko ande, chakamo fino anane.
It had its moments, some little cute, quirky moments, but overall, not much to it. Kind of forgettable.
Yeah. Amazing that I saw this movie so much as a kid, and like it didn't like sometimes you watch those movies when you like haven't seen them even for a long time.
And then it kind of unlocks it. Yeah.
And they come back, and this one I was kind of like, what?
Also, how weird is the side image is just like this weird picture of like
Jim Belushi looking serious.
Shouldn't it be the dog? If you have watched the other two Canine movies, let us know. Let us know if it's worth
definitely.
it. Let us know if it's worth it.
This movie is a lot of like war on drugs propaganda. That's a whole other conversation, though. This movie doesn't really.
This movie doesn't dive into it.
This movie doesn't dive into it. Or
how many paws do you want to give it?
I'll give it 2.
I'll give it 2 as well.
2 paws,
I think it's a solid 2 paws.
Just 2 paws.
If someone was like, I want to watch a cop dog movie, this wouldn't be the first one I would recommend.
No, I would recommend Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
And I would.
What was that other one?
Top Dog with Chuck Norris, which was much worse than this.
Yeah.
So what's up next?
Yeah, we got an interesting one from a director that we both like.
Yeah. We're gonna do Todd Solond's Wiener Dog.
But knowing this director, we're in for some heavy, dark, weird shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be
and a lot of different characters.
It's gonna be real fun. Danny DeVito's in it.
The cast is stacked. It's a wiener dog, which I love.
Wiener dog, wiener dog.
I think it's really great that you got a new dog. What's its name?
Cancer.
Why would you name it that?
It felt right.
And it's a director who we're fond of, so this could be a recipe for a good dog movie.
Okay, well, we'll report back next time.
Yep. All right, no more movies in this bucket.
Bucket is empty. All right.
Of movies.
There's just some other junk in there, whatever.
There's a thing in there, yeah.
That was our 40th episode.
Yeah, good. And it's not like a supersized episode or anything. We kind of.
It's a good, 40, whatever.
39. The last episode was really long. It was like an hour.
It was an hour and like 20 minutes, right? It was like our longest one, maybe, all at once. Because you didn't separate it at all, huh?
It couldn't be stopped.
We're an unstoppable force. Us and Rich behind the wheel.
Yeah. Birthday boy over here.
Birthday boy!
Everybody wish Rich a happy birthday, even though when you see this, it won't be his birthday, but still wish him a happy birthday from the past.
In our hearts. But I wanted to remind you guys of earlier that I forgot and then I remembered. If you guys can please vote for Ranch versus Rom from last one. Right. We had casual sex versus
Valley Girl.
Yeah, and we have a couple votes, but if you want to just throw your vote in the comments below, and we'll have a new segment for you hopefully next time on that.
Yeah, we'll have a new Ranch versus Rom, so we'll be able to pick a winner then. So
yeah,
let us know who you think should win.
Check out other things.
Yeah.
We got our Scarecrow Radio podcast.
Yeah, we've got Soundtrack Cinema with Mark Steiner.
We're in the middle of our spring fundraiser, so please donate if you can. Go on our website, all the info's there.
All stuff is, all links are below.
All stuff's down there. Share this, like this, comment. If you're new here, say hey in the comments. Hey, post this on your social medias and spread the good word.
And
my friends.
Save the date, July 28th.
Oh yeah, because we're bringing Bingo to the big screen.
We're bringing Bingo to the big screen.
Oh my gosh, he would love it. He would love to attend. I bet.
I bet, but I'm sure that dog is. Well,
no,
he's long gone.
He's dead.
It's wild.
He had a good life though.
Yeah,
real crazy life.
Yeah.
Crazy life,
wild
and you
life.
will see that if you come to our July 28th showing at the Beacon if you're in town. Email us viva@scarecrow.com. Come see us. Come check out Scarecrow Video in Seattle, Washington.
That's right.
That's it.
That's all we got. That's it. So goodbye.
Viva.
Show's over.
Scarecrow Video.
Viva Scarecrow Video.
And Viva Physical Media. Goodbye.
Bye.
Break
Oh boy. Chocolate cake. Wow.